What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another video. My name is Barba223. If you know me, welcome back. If you don't, welcome to a build video. So today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We are going to be doing a magic necro, or I guess you could say a hybrid necro. But yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. So as always, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. We're going to do character screen, gear, skills, and a quick CP show. So yeah, let's get into it. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Okay, so Necro got a lot of changes. If you guys aren't aware, I'm going to go over them. But the way I see it is the change to Blast Bones so far, I think is a good change. So I'll get into it. But we have 21,000 magic, 32,000 health, almost 17,000 stam, 1,000 mag recovery, 1,200 stam recovery, 4,100 spell damage unbuffed, and 3,900 weapon damage unbuffed. We have 4,000 pen without our major breach on, and then we have resistances wise, we are chilling at 29 and 29, 26 and 26. So our resistances are solid. As you can see, I have fish as my dual wield swords because why not? But yeah, that's what we're running. So that's the character screen. In terms of advanced stats and other things, so we are an Argonian. Argonian is a very well-rounded race. Imperial works, Orc works, really anything works nowadays. I don't care what I am in terms of race too much. Argonian's very, very nice because of the potion passive. You get more resources back for potions, and you also get better healing, so that's really nice. Alright, so Furies and Jewels of Misrule, which is just the broke man's version of Bear Haunch, so feel free to use whatever one you want, they're not much different. We're using the Apprentice Mundus, which you could go and use whatever you feel comfortable with. And then we're using Stage 3 Vampirism, so yeah, that's what we're doing on the character screen. I hope you enjoy that. Alright, so inventory, so what are we running? We are running some regular build that people have ran 400,000 times, I'm not going to lie to you, but Necromancer's kind of in a weird spot to where they're pretty trash, to be honest. I think they're the worst class in the game, and it's not really even close. For some reason, they keep buffing other classes that are just better, and then they're not really changing Necro. They're like reworking it, but not buffing it. So there's a big difference between a rework and a buff, and they're getting reworked, they're not getting buffed. It makes no sense. But anyways, we are using the Master's Dual Wield. Now, Master Dual Wield is sweaty, it's cheesy, but it hasn't gotten nerfed really ever. I think it might have gotten nerfed really ever so slightly in the last update, if I'm not mistaken, but still not nerfed to the point where I'm not going to use it because it's just really, really, really good. Yeah, so Twin Slashes deals an additional 871, which goes up when you get your spell damage buff of the initial attack and bleed. This effect scales on the higher of your weapon and spell damage. So we have a sharpened sword and a Nirnhone mace. Now, I probably got these Master Dual Wields legitimately like 7 years ago. Like, I've had these for so long. I don't even remember when I transmuted these. I don't remember when I did it, but I have Nirnhone and I have Sharpened. Are you better off using just both Sharpened? Probably, but I have Nirnhone and I'm not going to change it. And I got lucky enough to get a sword and a mace, which it could be worse. I could have gotten like daggers or like it could have been worse. So a sword and a mace is very good. Ideally, you get 2 maces and you get a bunch of pen. But a sword and a mace, it's not bad. But Master Dual Wield is insanely good. It makes your Twin Slashes great. On the back bar, we're using another pretty sweaty set, I'm not going to lie, but it is beneficial to the game in my opinion because it nerfs the heal stacking. So you have a Berserker Glyph, we're using an Ice Staff, no Resto Staff this time. Usually I run Resto, but on this build I like the Ice heavy attacks, and I like to be able to block on my back bar. We're using Defending as the trait. So Snake in the Stars, if you don't know what that is, it gives you recovery, a magic recovery, it gives you max mag, gives you another line of spell damage, and then on the 5-piece it gives you a second line of recovery, which is really nice. And then when you apply a major or minor debuff to an enemy, it applies Star Venom. This can occur every 12 seconds. Whenever enemies hit with Star Venom, they take 1,200 Oblivion damage up to 0.1 every 0.1 second. Sorry, I can't talk today. Whenever an enemy Star Venom is healed. So your heal stacking, you are going to get hit by Star Venom a lot. Oblivion damage is a lot also, so it works. But Star Venom is very, very good. It works really well, does a lot of damage, and it kind of nerfs it nerfs healing a lot. So an enemy can only be affected every 12 seconds. So it's very, very good. For the monster set, I was going between having a mythic and going between having a monster set, and I ultimately chose a monster set. So I have a Triglyph, I have Infuse. You want to go Impen or Reinforce, but Infuse is alright. So we have health recovery on the first line, but if you don't know about Engine Guardian has been a staple of this game since it came out, essentially. So when you use any resources for an ability, you have a 25% chance to summon an automation that restores 500 stam and magic or 2,000 health every half second for 6 seconds. So you're getting 12 ticks out of it. So you do 500 times 12 and 2,000 times 12, and that's how much healing and resources you get back. This can occur every 10 seconds, so there's only a 4-second cooldown, and it's essentially going to proc instantly. I don't know how often it'll proc right here if I'm just sitting here, but alright, it's being annoying, it won't proc. But with that being said, there we go. Jeez, they're really doing me dirty there. Alright, but you just use abilities and it procs. Okay, so a very, very good monster set. Something to note about Engine Guardian, not only is it giving you a ton of resources back, but it's acting as a target for the enemies to attack, and it pisses people off so bad. The reason being is because it's actually like a pet. So basically, it's going to be absorbing hits from people by accident because you can't really target in this game. It's pretty hard to do. So Engine Guardian, if you just sit behind your Engine Guardian, you're going to absorb some damage from it. Someone did a study of Engine Guardian about, I think it was years ago, I remember reading about it, but they tested Engine Guardian out, and it absorbs anywhere between 15 and 20% of the damage you would take. So to me, not only getting the resources back is amazing, but getting the damage mitigation is great. So our other 5-piece is Dragon's Appetite. Now this set's been a staple of the games that came out as well. I remember I made a video on this with a Warden before it was popular, and I was like, oh, this set seems decent, and then everyone ended up running it, of course. What are the odds? But it's an incredibly good set. Stacks really well with the Master Dual Wield. So it gives weapon and spell damage, it gives 2 lines of stamina recovery, and then the 5-piece is increasing your damage done to bleeding enemies by 217. Dealing non-bleed damage to bleeding enemies generates a persistent stack of Dragon's Appetite up to once per half second. At 10 stacks, you heal. So this is really, really good. I mean, the reality is it's an insanely good set. Not only are you doing a flat 217, now this applies to burst damage, direct damage, dot damage, chip to any type of damage you do, it's doing 217 more. Now this really shines on your dots because things are going to tick by a lot. So for example, your slashes are doing an extra 800 and whatever damage. Well, they're really doing over 1,000 because of this set. Now that doesn't sound like a lot because it's only 217, but I promise you, that's a crap ton of damage. So if I'm buffed, it gets me up even higher than that. So it's really, really good. This set's insane. I have it on both bars just because, like, if I light attack or heavy attack on my back bar, then it gets me closer to the stack. So this set's incredible. It's been a staple of ESO for a long time now. Really, really good set. It's a little cheesy, I'm not going to lie, but honestly, like, there's worse things out there. This isn't even that bad. And I'm using it on a Necro. I'm on a Necro. I need help. But yeah, it's a really, really good set. So we're using Dagons on the body. So we have a mix of medium and heavy. I wish I had a piece of light on here, but I don't have any room for any light. And I didn't craft any light because somebody made this for me forever ago. Homer Wells. Shout out to Homer Wells. Don't know if you're still around, but my guy. So we have Snake in the Stars on all the jewelry. Now, ideally, you want Bloodthirsty. Of course, I don't have a bajillion transmute crystals going around to use. Alright, so when I get enough transmutes, I'm going to go Bloodthirsty or Infused, and that'll be the end of it. But that is the gear, guys. Feel free to change out the monster set. If you want to, you could also go 1 piece of Snake in the Stars on the shoulder and then get a head piece of whatever you want, and then you could run a Mythic. I found a lot more success running a monster set with Engine Guardian than I did with a Mythic. So yeah, that's just what I use. Tell me how you feel about this in the comments. It's time for the skills. Alright, so on the front bar, we're using Degeneration. It's our major brutality and sorcery, and it's a dot, so it helps proc our Dragon's Appetite. You know, it's a must. Here we're using the Gravelord Sacrifice. So this was a complete change from Blast Bones. So Blast Bones is no longer a thing. So I noticed something when I used to play Necro, because I mained it for years when it came out. thing about Necro was their buff management was really, really tough. So it was tough to keep your Blast Bones always up. It was tough to keep your armor up. It was tough to keep your Spirit Guardian up. It was tough to keep all these different buffs going at once. So what I noticed was that I was struggling to do a consistent burst while keeping my buffs up. So this actually is honestly a pretty good change. The reason I say that is because you don't have to keep spamming Blast Bones. Right now it lasts for 20 seconds, so you just... I can't use it. I have to be in combat, that's right. So when you're in combat, you just use it, and then it lasts for 20 seconds, so you don't have to spam Blast Bones. Yes, Blast Bones hits very hard, but it's so hard when your entire kit was built around one thing. Alright, so now, the Master Dual Wield and the Dragon's Appetite goes hand in hand with this. So basically how it works is you summon a skeleton from the ground, and you sacrifice it for 20 seconds, and you get 15% damage with class abilities, and you get 15% damage with dots. Okay, what are we doing most of our damage with? Dots. Alright, so while active, Flame Skull deals extra damage in an area, but Flame Skull is a very wonky trash skill. We don't use it. The 15% dot and class ability damage is absolutely cracked. Alright, it is making our Rending Slashes do 15% more. It's making our Blade Cloak do more. It's making our Dawnbreaker extra dot thing do more. Okay, so that's why I'm saying we get into really high damage territory here. And it's also making our Hemorrhaging status effect do more when we apply it. It makes our Poison status effect do more when we apply it. It makes all of these dots do more damage, and it has 100% uptime, right? So, to put it in perspective, Malakath gives 15% damage. Okay, so does this. Malakath to everything, but you can't crit. Deadly is a 5-piece set, a literal 5-piece set. The 5-piece bonus is 15% damage with damage over time. We have one skill that's giving the 5-piece bonus for Deadly. All right, when you put that into perspective, you're like, wow. I could imagine this build being very, very powerful with Deadly too. So then you're getting a 30% bonus to all dots. But I think Dragon's Appetite is kind of similar in a way, but it gives more healing. So I like that. But 15% damage is a 5-piece Deadly bonus. So you're getting that with Blast Bones at all times, and you get extra damage with class ability. So granted, we don't use too many, but if we did, we would do a crap ton of damage. So you could use Colossus. It does 10,000 damage with every smash, which is 30,000 damage. So there are different options here you can use. So Colossus, if you don't know, is also cheaper now than it used to be, so it's also pretty good. But it's very, very good. So this skill is insane. I know the other one applies Major Defile, but I don't care. This one is insane. Alright, so Quick Cloak is our Major Evasion, reduces AoE damage to us, which is huge. It also does damage around you in a circle, and you also get Major Expedition. I mean, I just listed 14 things, not really, but very, very good things that make a big difference in this build. So Quick Cloak saves your life. It's a lot of damage. Everything's AoE nowadays. Whirling Blades is our AoE spammable and execution, so very, very good skill. Obviously, we know about Spin to Win. Here we have Rending Slashes, which is our bread and butter of the build. So they each do 4,200 together, and then they're bleeding for a lot of damage over time. They also apply Hemorrhaging. So it stacks with Dragon's Appetite, it stacks with our Master Dual Wield, and it stacks with our Blast Bones. So very, very good. And then last, we are using Dawnbreaker. Now, I did mention you could use Glacial, but Dawnbreaker is kind of like the CC of the build. But I mean, we also have a CC on the back bar. But Dawnbreaker is insanely good, honestly. It stuns people, it does big AoE damage, it does big dot damage. Like I said before, you can use Glacial Colossus because this one is a lot cheaper than it used to be in the past, so that's up to you. Alright, so on the back bar we're using Beckoning Armor because it pulls people in, it's kind of your CC that makes it easier to where you don't have to use a CC, you just have this up and it stuns people automatically. Resolving Vigor is our heal over time plus our Minor Resolve. Elemental Susceptibility is going to apply all the damage or all of the status effects, so Burning, Chilled, and Concussion, which Burning will be buffed by Dragon's Appetite, and you reduce their spell and physical resistance. Resistant Flesh is a great heal, so the reason it's so good is because it does reduce your healing and shield strength by 6%, which is fine. 6% is nothing, but it's a big heal, but it also grants half of the amount healed as resistance. Alright, so if we heal for 17k, we're getting 9,000 resistance for 3 seconds. Okay, so yeah, we only have, how much? We only have 29,000 resistance, but if we're healing for 11k, then all of a sudden we have 34,000, right? So, and we're healing a lot. If you're in trouble, you're healing. Alright, so very, very good skill, insanely good. Layouts we're using Spirit Guardian, so not only does this set or this build have Deadly built in, it also has automatic major protection. So that buffs our recoveries as well. So we go up to 1248 and almost 1500 without a potion, which is really solid, to be honest. So it heals us, and it also reduces our damage taken by 10%, which is insanely good. It's a built-in major protection. I mean, what else can you say about it? It's insanely good. This is like a staple of the Necromancer class. It's also cheap. It's only 2,500, which is very clutch. So great skill. Here we're using Goliath as our final skill. I mean, you pop this, you're like invincible for a few seconds. Honestly, you get 30,000 extra health, and it restores 30,000 health. So you're insanely tanky. And then you heal for each heavy attack. It's really good. You do extra damage around you. Like it's really nice, and you heal for the damage you do. Like it's just a very good tanky skill if you're in trouble. But those are the skills, and I hope you enjoyed the skills. But they are very, very good. This build does a ton of dot damage, which I'm gonna show you some gameplay of. But it's very, very good. So champion skills are points. To be honest with you guys, I take this tree seriously, but the other tree, I'm not too sure what I want to use, so what I have now will probably change, but I'll just show you. Fortified, Harden, Juggernaut, Pain's Refuge. Alright. Force of Nature, Master at Arms, Biting Aura, Untamed Aggression. So instead of AoE, I want damage over time. I gotta change these, I'll be honest with you. So you want damage over time damage just because, well, the obvious reasons, right? You want the extra damage for your, master dual wield and things of that nature. So that's what you want. So that's the build, guys. I hope you enjoy. As always, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you think down below about the sets and what you would change. So anyways, peace out, guys. Have a good one.
Green-eyed and bright at 18, a face from mainstream, a walking daydream. They scream, sweet life of peaches and cream. No doubt I'm wishing it was me. Thigh highs and vintage mom jeans, a nighttime routine. I know I've seen this scene. Sweet life like on the big screen. No doubt I'm wishing it was me. I wanna put